Amazing. Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. I am Taylor Harrington. I'm your head of community here at Dreamers and Doers. If we haven't met yet, I also want to give a friendly little shout out to my new teammate, Lucy, who just recently joined our team. You might see Lucy pop into Circle in your emails. She handles editorial and membership here at Dreamers and Doers now. Lucy, do you want to come off the mic and quickly say hello?
Yeah, hello everyone. Most of you, I think I have had some contact with already, or you've seen my name. So good to, actually see you here. And you might see me, yeah, pop into events more often and just be around. So don't be a stranger.
Yeah, 100% love. And yeah, so Lucy might be hosting some of these events in the future so that you kind of get a little variety of her and I as hosts. But amazing. We are going to go ahead and dive into today's session, which is all about Reddit. We are joined by the brilliant Ashley Rector, who is founder of Quimby Digital, and a leading voice in organic social growth and community first strategy. Ashley has helped build countless brands harnessing the power of authentic conversations to build visibility, trust, and lasting connection online. Her work has been featured in Forbes, NASDAQ, Create and Cultivate, and more. And she is especially passionate about helping founders and marketers use Reddit to transform passive audiences into engaged communities. So today, Ashley is here to help demystify Reddit for us and give us the tactical tools that we need to leverage the platform strategically and authentically. So whether you are brand new to Reddit or are curious about how it fits into your larger digital strategy, you're going to walk away with some clarity, confidence, and actionable steps to turn this unique platform into a real growth driver for your business. I was just saying to Ashley that I feel like Reddit just keeps coming up in so many conversations around AI. So I am particularly really excited to be in this session right now because it's such a hot topic and I feel like it's going to help us in so many ways. So Ashley, we are thrilled to have you here and for you to shine a light on this inside of the Dreamers and Doers community as a member. So let's go ahead and jump in and have you share your slides. Thanks for your hosting.
Hey, of course. Welcome, everybody. It's always weird to hear a bio about yourself while you're on the call. But it was good. Thank you.
Feel free to fill in any gaps that I may have left out.
No, you did great. Okay, I'm gonna get my slideshow all teed up here. All right. Can you see my screen? Yay.
Yay.
Okay. Welcome to Reddit Unlocked. I created a slide deck for this. I tailored it to beginner and slightly advanced. So if you don't know that much about Reddit, we're going to go through it. And also feel free to ask questions along the way. So who am I? And why do I even have the credentials to talk about Reddit? So I started a social media marketing agency roughly 6 years ago. We've helped hundreds of brands scale on social. And probably over a year ago, we started considering Reddit as a major player in the brand space, especially when we started talking about TikTok potentially being banned. We were thinking about what other channels can we expand to? And Reddit came up time and time again because the team used it personally. And so when we started thinking about this, not a lot of brands were on Reddit yet. There were a few, but we're like, how can we execute on this to be more effective for our clients? And then ChatGPT cut a deal with Reddit, which made it even more important when you are asking Reddit for product recommendations and about brands, since it surfaces conversations. And so here we are today. So my portfolio is split. We have half of the team working on B2B brands and the other half on B2C and D2C. We act as an outsourced social media department for brands. So we handle everything from strategy to creator sourcing to content execution, like the whole shebang. Reddit is our number one asked about service. So I think we've launched 5 branded subreddits this year alone. So today we're going to get into Reddit's culture and authentic conversations. How do you launch a branded subreddit? How does it influence LLMs? And then I have some tools I can show you in real time. So why does this matter for brands? I get this question all the time on LinkedIn when I'm talking about it, when I'm talking to other consultants. Reddit is growing rapidly. And not only is it growing rapidly, but it's trusted by consumers. So when you're thinking about a product recommendation or you have an issue, let's say with your health, or you're wondering about a medicine or whatever you're going to Reddit for, you're trusting the advice that's given on there because it's peer-to-peer advice. So it's growing at a rapid rate. It's now being surfaced, obviously, in the LLMs, as well as you'll see it ranking higher on Google. So when you go to search something, you might see Reddit threads pull up before even a website will pull up. So it's very powerful. So since it's growing, it has piqued our interest. So how is it unique? So the culture on Reddit is very specific. So if you're not on Reddit, they are quick to judge if they think you're selling something. It's highly trusted. There are thousands and thousands of niche communities. So what I love about it is if you are into purple socks, there is probably a purple socks subreddit on Reddit. So you can find your ideal ICP really easily. And I actually have a tool that you can surface your ICP is like your subreddit that you want specifically as well. So how does it work? There's like a content evaluation system. I'm not going to get too basic into Reddit, but essentially like when you comment, you get up votes on your post or down votes, meaning your post sucks in subreddits. And then also you gain karma. So karma is just you're interacting with the community. When your posts are getting upvoted, you're naturally interacting, your karma grows. And why is karma important? It shows that you're an authentic member on Reddit's platform, but in certain subreddits, you need to have a karma requirement to even participate. So a lot of brands care about getting their karma up. So who's actually on Reddit? So many brands. Here are a few. The Economist, Washington Post, Mint Mobile, Purple Mattress, Marvel's on there. They all do different things in terms of content. Some are Ask Me Anythings, AMA. So they bring somebody on and ask questions for 2 hours and you get advice in real time. Others just like publish long form articles on there basically, or post questions, or keep it as like a customer service hub. It really just depends on your brand, your unique space. And then from a consultant perspective, Quimby, we have our own branded subreddit, but we also answer questions on there. So like for us, it's more important to engage than it really is growing our own branded subreddit. So we go out and any questions around social media marketing or paid advertising or influencer, we're responding back with real advice. So how do you even get your Reddit strategy up and running? So first, I would look at relevant subreddits. So where is your ideal customer or brand living on Reddit? What channels do they belong in? How active are those communities? Like what are the requirements to belong to those communities? Like, how are you going to track metrics? What are you looking at? Are you looking at referral traffic on your website? Are you strictly looking at your karma growth month over month? Or are you looking at the growth of your own branded subreddit? Like, make sure to set your KPIs and figure out your subreddits where you want to belong so you have a game plan. A lot of brands will just launch and they don't understand like what subreddits they want to be a part of. And they're discouraged when they go into a subreddit and they can't like create a thread or comment because their karma isn't high enough. So that's like the purpose of figuring out, okay, what subreddits, how do I become an active player? Also, where are people talking about us already right now? If you're on the brand side, or if you're offering a specific service offering, like what communities are talking about those? Account development. So I would say the number one question we get asked around this is, do I create a branded handle? So like Quimby Digital, or do I do like what Sonos has done, which is Sam at Sonos. So it's like personified, right? It's a person who's answering questions. We skew towards the branded handle, but that's up to you. It just depends on if it's going to be a founder who's responding. I could see having both social handles, frankly, on Reddit. But yeah, we skew towards the branded handle for SEO benefits, number one, but number two, employee turnover. At least from a brand perspective, you can't always determine what the future is going to be. And you also might want other people to jump in. So that would be another reason for a branded handle. So Reddit content is unlike any other content in the sense that you are not selling on Reddit. So I think this throws a lot of people, like it's pure value driven. So you're answering questions, you're posing questions. You might be able to drop resources, but we don't suggest that until your karma's high enough and you're active enough in a subreddit. And when it's a resource drop, so like backlinking somewhere, it has to be directly relevant or else it'll be flagged. So once you can drop resources in there, like a link or I don't know, a guide, whatever, an image, that's when you start to see the value. So for instance, Quimby, we had dropped a newsletter link, and somebody was asking, like, I'm looking for trends and we send out trends weekly. So it was like directly relevant. And we ended up getting like 50 signups from that link alone, just for our newsletter on Reddit. So when it's purposeful, I feel like it really goes a long way. And then brand presence. So how do I even introduce my brand on there? This is why I like the branded handles, because you can organically start being part of these conversations and you're not like, hi, I'm Sally from so-and-so. You know what I mean? Like your handle shows that you're from Quimby Digital or from High Vitamin or whatever it is. And then scaling and optimization. So in terms of scaling, it's twofold. So one, if you have launched your own subreddit, like your own page, then we're posting at least twice a week on there, maybe even more, thoughtful topics that other community members can engage in, that we're optimizing for SEO so LLMs can pick it up. And then there's the outbound, and that's like being part of other subreddits and really thoughtfully engaging in posts that are relevant to you. We do that daily. So I would say that that provides the most growth in the beginning, because people aren't just going to know that you're on Reddit. You have to really participate in the conversations. So here are some posts that work, which we discussed most of these. And then how like do I engage in a subreddit as a brand? So this is one of our clients. I think a lot of people over engineer how you want to engage on Reddit. It really is just about being authentic. So like, look, this is a one sentence saying like small business owners, like building something gives you freedom to and control over your future. It got 45 upvotes. That's a lot for Reddit and for a brand. And it's very basic, but it's something that's true, authentic. We weren't selling anything. But this shows like goodwill in the entrepreneurship community, which is their ICP. And also in terms of karma on their side as well, and being able to participate in other subreddits. So how like do I even find subreddits to engage in? So you can absolutely search in Reddit based on keyword and filter by communities. While I like Reddit, I find this tedious. So there is a tool that I'm going to show you at the end that allows you to search for subreddits. It's free and it shows you how active the community is and then how large it is. All right. Are there any questions? I've been chatting a lot. Oh, for Quimby, do you reply as a brand or a person? We reply as a brand. But like I said, you can also have a person. Like I have my own Reddit. I usually only use it for personal stuff, but I've seen it done both ways. But we skew branded handle. So Reddit and the AI frontier. So Reddit and ChatGPT cut a deal. Reddit is training, basically ChatGPT is training on Reddit information. Why? Because they want to understand user behavior. It's very conversational on Reddit. So they're surfacing Reddit threads as well. So you'll see in the results when you ask it a question and it sources out, it will be a Reddit thread. So this is incredibly powerful for brands, because if you're being mentioned within the first 5 like sources on ChatGPT, it's giving you sales. Sorry, Jesus, I'm losing my mind here. So like one of our clients, all they do is optimize for LLM. So when we're looking at social content, it's Reddit, it's Instagram, it's YouTube, like every social channel now is impacting this new search frontier. And they care about that because most brands are taking the perspective that traditional search is going to go away. And now everybody's going to likely like defer to a ChatGPT or a Perplexity to make purchasing decisions. So one of the brands that we work with that was very early on in the LLM optimization space, I would say they started this like the beginning, was it January of this year? Or it might have even been the end of last year. But at any rate, they saw that with Reddit and also like other optimization efforts they were doing on the LLM side, not only was their traffic going up on ChatGPT, but the purchases through ChatGPT, so they would click on the referral link, go through, that was increasing as well. So conversion rate was increasing. So people were trusting essentially what chat was saying and purchasing. So that's why they saw a ton of value on this. So like if we can keep getting recommended in ChatGPT because it's so trusted, then it's like a higher purchasing on the consumer side. So that's what we've been doing for a lot of brands lately is we're looking at building a community. So this community can be owned. So you can run giveaways on Reddit. You can ask about new flavors to something, new services, whatever. But then obviously you're optimizing it for search as well. Did I see a question?
Yeah, quick
Yeah,
question.
so
here.
you are able to chat without having karma. It's just one. That's okay. You are able to chat without having karma, but karma will get you into certain subreddits. So karma is just like goodwill. Let's just call it that. So like when you're participating in a community and people like your response, they will hit an upvote button. Like, hey, I think that your response is thoughtful on this, and they'll click an upvote, and then it translates into more karma. So like the more active you are on Reddit, the more upvotes you get. It's all about rewarding you for being part of the Reddit community. So usually when we're setting KPIs for a brand, we're reaching 100 karma in the first 90 days. And transparently, that's like a conservative karma goal that we set. So we usually always surpass that. But I will say it depends on how active you are on Reddit. Like the more active we are, the quicker we're passing that. We do have some brands that we run Reddit for that they're just like cult-like brands, right? So launching on Reddit, people were fanatical about it. They're like, I can't believe like this perfume brand is on Reddit. It's so niche. So that we hit KPIs quicker. So it really just depends, I think, on the space that you're in. The professional services side is harder, I think, to hit from a karma perspective than a physical product, for sure. So
question. I'm sorry. I'm just
no, go ahead.
So if the karma is a big deal, are you still able to chat without having all this karma?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
So really it's certain subreddits that gate by karma, right? So like a subreddit, think of a subreddit as like a Facebook community, right? So like certain communities you can interact in without having any karma. And in fact, I'm pretty sure that Reddit has like its own subreddit that's like new community members where people chat and talk. And that's a really easy way to earn karma. So you don't have to.
Gotcha.
So in terms of, I'll answer that question next. How do I go back on this? There we go. Okay. So in terms of like what you're looking at, so we're always looking at, I just pulled this a few months ago. So in terms of Reddit and referral traffic, like we're looking to see like how many sessions is Reddit referring to the website? And obviously like other social channels. So we're always measuring this as well to see. So that's one, look in your Google Analytics. Obviously it's free. So that's one way. There's also, from a LLM perspective, a bunch of tools on the market now that will show you like how you're being surfaced on ChatGPT and how much is Reddit contributing to that. Profound is one of those tools, but there are dozens of them. And then in terms of why is it harder with a service? Oh yeah, Kara said she's happy to help anyone with an LLM audit. So in terms of service versus product, just in our own experience, the talking about a service on Reddit has just seemed to be less of a converter. I don't know if it's the way that we're doing it or not, but like when you're rallying consumers around a product, it just seems easier from a service perspective. So like from Quimby, and we're offering social media management services, it comes off very salesy. Do you know what I mean? So like for a product, you can say this solves like X, Y, and Z pain point. Like your daughter's deficient in vitamin B. Like, hey, we do X, Y, and Z. So for us, at least, it's been way easier to scale the product.
Ashley, first of all, this has been absolutely incredible. Your insights are dynamite and you're doing an amazing job of breaking it down and making it super accessible. I do a lot with B2B brands in social media, in marketing and PR for LLM search, and like Reddit has been such a hot topic, which is part of why I wanted to come today. I think also like people who follow services or are talking about things like ad tech or developers in Reddit are like, they're so much snarkier and they're very like attuned to exactly what Ashley said, which is like feeling like someone's trying to sell them something. And so like we've never gone the branded subreddit route, which is something so interesting to think about. But whenever we've engaged in the communities, we've always been just like extremely authentic and transparent and been like, hey, I work for this brand. You've asked this question or said this thing. Here is the answer from the brand. Like, do whatever you want with it. But you can't try to like give them a suggestion or make a recommendation. You have to be like super neutral and like straight to the point, because if it even feels like you're trying to sway, the reaction can be so strong.
Yeah. So Cloudflare, I think, has a pretty robust subreddit on there.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think in terms of, at least on the B2B side, it's more so focused on, I think it becomes like a customer service hub, frankly. So like we're releasing information, we're interacting with you in real time, and then we're optimizing. Do you know what I mean? Like the content we're putting out there is strictly from an optimization perspective. Yeah, I agree with you. So going in as an individual is better for services. I don't know. I don't want to say it's better or worse. I think you should try it. So like, I think you should have your branded, like your agency handle. And then I think you should have your founder handle. And then on your subreddit that you launch, you can have moderators, and that'll be, you know, you could have multiple moderators on there and see and test out how it works for you. Okay, let's see. Tools. So this is one of my favorite tools. I think this is like slept on a little bit. Not a lot of people know about it. I found this tool on Reddit, which makes me love it even more. But essentially, you can hook up your handle to it, and then it also will read like your website. I think I have it up actually, and tell you what subreddits to follow, and then also report to you when your brand name's being talked about in any keyword you want. And then it ranks it by relevance in terms of, let's see, am I logged in? It ranks it by relevance in terms of like, hey, you should absolutely respond to this because it's your ICP. Let me go to Quimby. I don't want to share a client. So let me just, okay. So it's called Billy Buzz. Where did this go? Here we go. So as you can see, we belong to these channels. We monitor them. It has a Slack integration, so it will ping my team every single time something highly relevant is talked about. And it'll say like, hey, looking for blah, 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 you know, should you engage? Yes, it's highly relevant. And then you can click in and write your reply here, or you can AI generate a reply, which I would not recommend, but I like this for monitoring. So we can monitor competitors. If you're a brand, we're monitoring certain like products. So if it's a perfume name, because they don't always say the brand name. We're obviously monitoring the brand name, but we're using this to sift through like all of the monitor channels and decide like, hey, this one looks like highly relevant to us. Let's engage with it and click all the way through. So this Billy Buzz is what it's called. It's like $20 a month. It's not very expensive. And it's Reddit specific. The next tool I'm going to show you guys is called Gummy Search. And this one will actually help you find subreddits to engage in. Why is it not? It's like user error. That's me. What in the world? Here we go.
I will go ahead and drop that link in the chat too for everyone to easily get.
So this one's called Gummy Search. And so like I was saying, it matters what subreddits you belong in. So these are ones that they're just pulling, but like, let's say marketers. It'll show you like engagement, how, like, this is a free account, by the way. So it'll show you member size, audience, activity, age, popular topics that are in here. So you can readily search on Gummy Search and see like, okay, hey, I'm interested in motherhood or whatever. And it will show you what subreddits are the most active, and you can start with those instead of just like surfing in the dark. And this is the free tier. There's also paid tiers. And then one of the more basic, but like more important is scheduling. So not every social scheduler has a Reddit integration right now. So I don't know what you're using, but obviously we like to pace out like how often we're talking on a branded subreddit, but then also measure the analytics as well. So we use Vista Social. It's pretty inexpensive, but it links to Reddit, and you can schedule all your posts out. So this is Zen Business is one of our clients. This is 6 months. I pulled this a few months ago when I did another Reddit talk, but this was 6 months of organic Reddit. We have not done any paid at all for this brand on Reddit, and they've seen a tremendous amount of referral traffic from Reddit. They've gotten LLM, like certain questions in the LLM have surfaced, like our Reddit threads have surfaced, and you can see post views. So like 58,000 post views is really great from an organic perspective. So the power of Reddit is there. And I just want to thank you all for coming. And I'm going to stick around and answer some questions. And then I'll circulate this deck because I put a bunch of Reddit fun facts in here about how it's growing to convince you to go onto Reddit. And also 2.5 hours a day, people are on social media, at least, if not more now. So if they're on social, Reddit's just another reason for you to be there. Okay.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Ashley. If we can, before we transition into more questions, if everyone could just send like a burst of confetti in the chat, some love, some thank yous, what you took away from this so far, please go ahead and do so. We are just so grateful that you shared your wisdom in this way. I just learned so much. So yeah, if anyone has any questions or any specific scenarios, given your business, your brand, how you're thinking about showing up on Reddit, feel free to come off mute and share, or also put it into the chat. And just know that if at any point over the next little bit you have to pop out, no worries at all. But it was so good to have you all here. We will have the recording inside of the on-demand education section, probably by next week at the latest. So if you want to go back and check out any of those tools, they'll be in there as well. Cool. It looks like maybe Kara has a question. Kara, now I'm like, I don't know if I've ever said your name out loud.
Kara, no, you're all good. I feel like Reddit is a place that everyone kind of wants to be, but like maybe it doesn't make sense for someone. So I was wondering if there was ever a time where you had like a brand come to you and you said, you know what, this is just not for you.
Yes. I would say, so we did some work in the climate space. We do a little bit of work there now. One brand was like incredibly nuanced when it came to climate and green hydrogen. And like in terms of what their goals were, it just did not make sense to be on Reddit. So I think it depends on A, like what they're trying to get out of Reddit, right? Like, and B, if their ideal customer is on there. Because if their ideal customer isn't on there, it doesn't matter how many views their post is going to get, they're not going to be happy, right? So I think it just depends in terms of subreddits, like how active is their ideal customer. And so no, it's not for everyone. But I do think it's for a lot of brands. And I think like if you're a consultant and you're launching it for yourself, let's say, I think it's a relatively low lift for a potentially high reward because those Reddit threads live on and on and on. So it's a constant source of referral traffic. So it's not like a one and done scenario.
Thank you.
Amazing. We have Sierra and Iman.
Thank you, Ashley. First of all, this has been really helpful. I would ask like almost the flip question of Kara, which is like, if you're having a conversation with somebody and they're saying certain things to you, whether it's about what type of product or service they have or their own ways that they like to work or market themselves, what would they be saying to make you go like, oh my God, you have to be on Reddit? Like if there's any particular behaviors, any particular types of brands or businesses that just like can crush it on there, like curious the flip side of that.
Yeah, it's funny because we work with like some pretty big brands, then we work with really small brands as well, like niche brands. So I'm thinking about conversations we had with both of them. So I would say they're usually like other traditional social channels are kind of stagnant for us right now. And we walk through why do they think that is? And then I can pretty much identify like, okay, like they're not doing X, Y, and Z. And if none of those flags come up, so like they're posting good quality video content and they're tapping into creators and it's high value content and they're not spamming, like, you know what I mean? Like there's like, you kind of run through this checklist. And then they walk me through their ICP. And if I'm like, okay, yes, like I know there's an active community on there. So we do a lot in parenting and motherhood and like targeting women as an ICP. And so I just know subreddits on there. So I'm like, yeah, these conversations you should belong. And then usually I'll do a quick search. So if they're being talked about on Reddit already, then that's a really good indicator that they should be there. So we have brands that are like continuously being talked about on Reddit all the time, and they were never part of the conversation before. So they're not controlling the narrative. So those are a few things. Like I mentioned before, I think physical products, it's easier for. The brand that I showed you those results for, it's a bigger brand, but they target entrepreneurs. So they register LLCs. That's what they do. So it's a service-based business. But it's massive, like Mark Cuban's their face. And do you know what I mean? So they're widely known and they were being talked about every day on Reddit and weren't part of the conversation. Is it good for authors? We run content for a pretty popular bookstore in Harvard Square. And so there is a huge book community on there, but I've never looked at it from an author lens, frankly. So I would do some research and see. And I guess in terms of getting advice, I would imagine, yes, it's excellent for that. In terms of selling your book, I don't know.
But you think getting advice will be, you
Oh,
know,
100%.
like, for example, I have a client who's writing a children's book, and I know she's an older woman. So she's trying to understand the mind of a child. So would that be a good place for me to go to and start asking questions?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so that was my first question. The second question is, I've just been reading it, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I've been paying more attention to this company called Uncle Nearest. That's how it's been popping up in mine because I just been following the lawsuit that's going on. And then I notice every time I type in something, Reddit pops up in my searches all of a sudden. I just assumed it's because I've been on there reading the latest on the lawsuit. Is it because it's just popping up just because? So I'm wondering, my question is, how do you get started? How do you just jump into these conversations and you really haven't been a part of it before, the community and stuff, for reading?
Yeah, what's great is once it's really easy to set up a Reddit account. So like once you set up your Reddit account, like it's easy as setting up an Instagram account. Once you set up your Reddit account, then you can go in and find the subreddits and start participating. People aren't looking at your profile to be like, is this person valid? There is a lot of spammers on Reddit. So I think it's really easy to jump in because it's not like you're being validated right away as if like, are you a real person? And that's why these subreddits have that karma tier, some of them, because there's so many spam accounts being created.
Okay.
Like everybody's participating. So it should be really easy for you to like create your profile and start jumping in right away.
Okay, great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Amazing. We have Iman and then Kat.
Thank you so much for doing this, Ashley. So it was funny. I was in another community and they were like, Reddit doesn't work. I was like, well, I'll be the judge of that today. So I'm really curious, and I was asking specifically about the industry of the client that you gave because so I'm in finance, so I own an accounting firm, and I'm trying to think how I would approach Reddit from my perspective. I really appreciated Kara's thought and input when it comes to showing up potentially as an individual, me as the founder, versus showing up as the brand, or maybe sort of having like a simultaneous effort. I would love if you could give me almost like okay, these would be the next 3 steps I'd recommend for someone in the B2B service space to, get started, potentially like exploring what's going to be the best plan of attack to get in.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. We actually do Reddit for a financial services business that's woman owned right now. And so they target women in transitional phases. So like divorce, just getting married, whatever. So we identified like, okay, what phases are these individuals in? And then we belong to groups that talk about like financial freedom for women or like whatever it looks like. And then we're authentically engaging in those subreddits as the brand. So they have a branded handle. They don't do a personal one. And then they have their own Reddit subreddit, which they're just dropping resources in for people. You can post whatever you want in your own subreddit. So that's why we always recommend it. But in terms of steps, I guess I would decide if you're going to do the branded handle, which, like I prefer, or if you're going to be the founder, establish your Reddit profile, find the subreddits and join them for your whatever phase of life, like you're looking at your customer in, or if it's a certain service industry or whatever it looks like, they're definitely on there. Join those, start like looking at threads and just organically commenting on things that you already know about. It could be really easy. It doesn't have to be well thought out. And that's how you begin.
And then in terms of the comment on the profile, it can literally be anything and everything that I would want it to be. It doesn't, not necessarily like accounting related, but even just like life, entrepreneurship, motherhood, like some of the topics that I already talk about on LinkedIn.
Yeah, actually, let me just show you guys really quick. I think I do. I have Reddit pulled up because I don't know how many of you. So I would also, if you're a brand, sign up. It's free for Reddit Pro because it shows you like performance overview. So this is the Quimby profile. So you can see like we've been doing it for 4 months. This is our karma. These are the subreddits we participate in, you know what I mean? So it'll show you and it'll save everything like posts, comments, upvoted, performance, which is what we're looking at all the time. So it'll show me like, hey, this post got 1.3. You know what I mean? So you can kind of see it has a lot of analytics in here. But in terms of your profile, like it's very basic.
Yeah.
So you recommend signing up for the paid version?
So Reddit Pro is free, at least on the accounts that we're using right now for brands. So it's just something they're offering right now in beta.
For now. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what does 84 karma mean? Is that 84 out of 100?
No, so the karma can go up to like thousands. So I feel like 84 is not good on the Quimby one. So we usually set a KPI of 100 in the first 3 months, but we always downplay Quimby. I feel like clients come first. So 84 is like how often we've participated, and then like stuff has gotten upvoted and all of that good stuff.
Amazing. Kat, what was your question?
Okay, so I think this is probably good news, but I wanted to ask if there were any considerations. So I'm currently working on a mobile game brand, and they already have a subreddit, and it's not huge, but they have an active community of almost 2,000.
Sweet.
And so they also have a Discord, which we own and are active in, and that's been going well. But Reddit, I'm like, how do we kind of move over there? How do I start to jump in? So I'm based on what you said, I'm kind of guessing like customer service stuff is great. Answering questions, posing questions, like fans are going to have some fun with that. But any considerations, first of all, with somebody else runs this subreddit, and just like any considerations of like, I'm just trying to be cool in there and not like, these are like players in their 20s, and I'm like trying to not be like the middle-aged mom in there, just like being like,
Yeah.
hey guys, yeah, let me tell you about the game. So just curious if you have any thoughts on things to avoid or like opportunities there.
So I guess from a subreddit perspective, I would go and look at your rules really quick. Like just do some housekeeping, right? Like go look at bio, like rules, like all of that stuff. See how active it is. And then what's nice about these communities is if you start seeing that there are certain people who are really active, I've known other brands that will like nominate moderators. So you can actually like super fans could be a moderator and you could set like their permissions. So that's something to consider. I would imagine like an AMA would be really cool. So like in terms of game development, like, hey, we're having an AMA with like this game developer, like come in and ask questions on like, I just feel like people would nerd out about that.
Yeah. Like probably not me, but the artists and like the writer and stuff. Yeah.
And then any updates I would post in there. And then the community itself should start being active. So I don't know what the settings are, like if you have to approve, like posts that go in there, but that is the ideal, right? Like people are just posting about the game in there, and you have certain moderation rules set up. In terms of transferring from Discord to Reddit, I feel like a lot of brands are like sick of the management of Discord and Telegram because it's a beast. And there is some overlap there. Running giveaways always helps to get people over to Reddit when you want to sunset it. But it's hard because Discord is an entirely different beast on its own.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Iman has another question, and I'm going to actually add a little part 2 to it that I'm curious about, which is, what would you say is a good schedule to build with Reddit? And I'm also curious, like, I know with LinkedIn, if you take like 10 days off for vacation and then like stop commenting, you come back and it's like a little bit of a ghost town. So curious if like taking breaks from being active also impacts things. But going back to Iman's question, like what is a good schedule?
Yeah, so in terms of taking breaks, we've never really seen that impact, I guess. I feel like Reddit's all high value. It's more about like the interaction, like the weight on the interaction. There's a high value placed on that versus like spamming Reddit. So in terms of cadence, we're publishing at least 2 posts a week in the branded subreddit, regardless if anybody even is there. And then every day we're going in and engaging, meaning like we're in other subreddits responding to questions or putting thoughtful things. I realize that's not sustainable probably. So I would say if you could go in like once a week and just like go through all of the subreddits that are your ideal ICP and identify the threads that are most important to you and interact with those, that would be a really good start. I also think Googling like, hey, so for me, we're looking for a social media marketing agency and seeing the threads that come up on Google, if they're still active, we go in and comment on those because they're surfacing on the first page of Google. So why wouldn't I want to be part of those conversations? So that's good from a branded perspective as well.
Amazing. Cool. Well, I don't think we have any other questions. So thank you so much, Ashley, for this lovely hour. And thank you everyone else for carving out an hour to come hang out with us. I'm just going to go ahead and drop in the chat. It's funny. My computer is being a little bit funny right now. So it might take me a second, but I'm going to drop in the chat how to continue to connect with Ashley. Let me just pull this up. I didn't want to slow down my Zoom, and now I'm like, oh, here I still need it. Which is, yeah, just a way to continue to connect with Ashley inside of the community, but also for you to take a peek at what we have coming up for Dreamers and Doers in case you are interested in joining more events like these. Also, if you want to host something like this, there's the forum for that. And then if you have any feedback on today's session, we love making things better. So feel free to include that as well. So I'll just drop that in there. But thank you all. And Ashley, thank you so much. I am just so excited to figure out how Dreamers and Doers can better be using Reddit. And I feel like it's come up before, as it's so cool, like in applications when people say, oh, how'd you find out? Reddit has come up before. And so figuring out how to dial it up is very interesting to us. So thank you all, and talk to you soon. Bye, crew.
Thanks all. Bye.